Hello everyone, it's good to be back on the program after some time of rejuvenation. This is Special Report and I'm Ini John Mekwa. Now, Nigerians are not really happy at this time after the incident in Borno State where some farmers were killed in one of the most gruesome manners, an act which Boko Haram has claimed responsibility for. Many questions are being asked. The government, the army are being criticized for their handling of the security situation in the country, even though it seems the northern part of the country is the most affected. Many suggestions have been postulated, and we'll review all of that on this episode of Special Report. You're welcome. The effect has not diminished. The sadness of seeing dozens of lives cut short has gotten many Nigerians talking. The conflict of the number of farmers killed at the rice field in Borno State still infuriates even more Nigerians. The army says 43 farmers were killed, but other figures have since been shared by other quarters.
Recovered the dead. They requested and that the troops must be on ground. Of course, the troops had to move in there. And they assisted in counting. And they counted 43.
Even if one person was killed, it leaves tears, hurt, and distrust of the security architecture in the country. As they are laid to Mother Earth, the uncertainty of the safety of those living in the community and in Nigeria as a whole grows. The story of one of the survivors may be a confirmation to talks that in some parts of the region, residents pay levies and run errands for members of Boko Haram in their communities.
When they started gathering our people, we thought it was for us to help them carry their loads as usual from the bush to town. But we were mistaken. They were calling people in one after the other. We thought it was for questioning since we didn't hear gunshots. By the time we realized they were slaughtering them, many of our people had been killed. A few of us escaped, only by the grace of God.
The governor, Babagana Zulum, who has been the target in at least 3 attacks in recent times, may be one of the most hit by this incident. This is because he's been on the fore of encouraging farmers to return to their farms, most of which have been abandoned for years because of insurgency. With this, many farmers may refuse to take the risk, and the governor is asking for immediate and convincing steps to end the insecurity.
Our people are in very difficult conditions. They are in 2 extreme conditions. On one side, if they stay at home, see, it's very sad. Indeed, it's very sad. So we are still appealing to the federal government to ensure recruitment of our boys, the recruitment of our indigents into the Nigerian army.
The families of the slain have been given 600,000 naira each, as well as parcels of food. From the center, there's been visitation from the lawmakers and the executive to commiserate with the people of the state, with a promise to adopt new ways to forestall such reoccurrence.
I think it's important to understand also that, the conventional means of dealing with some of these issues, conventional means of dealing with this security type of challenges, especially the randomness, is probably, we probably need to keep reviewing that, and which is why the president has said that, is taking a serious look at how to deal with the issues, especially around the randomness. Because, some insane person goes into a place and shoots people down. That's not the sort of thing that you are prepared for conventionally. So we have to do a lot more local intelligence, which is, a lot more local intelligence. Some of the community policing efforts that we're trying to do. so that information is supplied faster, especially at the local level, and then reaction may then be possible. But it's a major tragedy. It's a very, very unfortunate thing, and our hearts and are with the families of those who were killed in such a terrible manner. But we're very confident that the federal government, will continue to do what it needs to do, especially in terms of trying to assure security in the northeast and all over Nigeria.
People are talking of the
Abba
Boko Haram attacks and
was the
others.
state coordinator for Civilian Joint Task Force
by the grace
in
of
the
God,
northeastern state in 2013.
Boko Haram will come to an
He was
end.
heading a unit of about
first,
8,000 combatants. At
the
about
federal
50 years of age, he
must
left his
raise to
career
its
as
own
a state
responsibility
auditor to join the
make sure
vigilantes, but later quit. His reason, lack of commitment to fight Boko Haram and what he describes as the wrong approach by the government to battle insecurity.
First, whatever we're going to do, let's put our own commitment and let's put Nigeria in our heart. These two basic things, if we had it in our heart, I believe Boko Haram will not even take us 3 weeks. It will be over. But first, let's have the commitment. Boko Haram are not hiding. Boko Haram territory, everybody knows where Boko Haram they are. There is security, intelligence information that has already passed to the security agents. It's left to us now to go and meet them. Now, if you are going to Biu, from Biu to Damboa, or from Damboa to Biu, there is checkpoint of Boko Haram just before Ojiloko. And you have to take that transit. You have to move to survive. And you were there, you are intercepted, and you give them something just to fast. Is it a collaboration? If now you are going to Monguno, there is a lot of checkpoint. You just go and drop and fast. It was well known. People are saying it. Now on your own transit, you meet such, get in the road. Because to protect your own life, you have to obey what they have said so that you can fast. There must be a good synergy between the security outfit. Because to me, as an all member of the CJTF, I have faced so many challenges fast. Because if you give intelligent information to any of the security outfit, there is rivalry between them. And we are achieving one goal, so they should keep this aside. That is one observation that I have been doing. What next after the war? We have more than 54,000 orphans here in Borno. What plans did the federal government have to those orphans? Because the burden is too much on Borno State government. And I'm calling with individuals who have well to do in the state. What are their plans to assist the government? Because if we did not bring those orphans close to us, if we did not take care of them right now and plan for their future, I think what we're going to face is more than Boko Haram.
The situation in Borno State.
Other residents in the state say they are living in fear as the situation seems to be getting worse.
The masses of Nigerian, during the time of Jonathan, there was a lot of accusation that insecurity, and he came out on media and what have you and said that if he's being voted into power, he will make sure that the security situation of Nigeria will be a thing of the past. And to this now we are seeing worse of it.
You cannot move around. If an ordinary farmer that will go out to till the land to feed his family can be killed, it means anybody is subjected to that killing. It has become worrisome because all of us depend on this food these people are farming. But if they cannot go to the farm, what does it mean? It means poverty will increase, hunger will increase, and children and women will continue to suffer.
Nigeria has been fighting insurgency for 11 years now, a fight that seems far from over. as the Global Terrorism Index report for 2020 ranks Nigeria third with a score of 8.314 on the index that measures the impact of terrorism. Some Nigerians perceive that there are leakages in the security system which may be stalling the success of defeating terrorism.
Basically, when you structure confusion, that makes certain people and certain institutions to be relevant. And these are institutions that have strategically seen that their relevance is waning. Let me break it down further. With all due respect to the gallant military we have in Nigeria, many schools of thought, these are not my own thoughts, very professional schools of thought, believe there's no plan for Nigeria to have a war with South Africa. There's no such plan for a war between Nigeria and Cameroon and Ghana or Togo. And knowing fully well that their relevance is waning, some of these individuals, not all of them, a few of them conspired or put heads together to create a laboratory-made confusion.
When things definitely are not going right, and maybe people are not getting the right results or the expected results, there's bound to be conspiracy theories, rightly or wrongly, you know. And talking about moles, you can't rule that out. I honestly will not sit down here and start to defend that. But I want to believe that if such exists, it behoves on the military high command to fish them out. Because more than ever before, we need intelligence. And intelligence is not limited to military or paramilitary alone, even in the wider society. When you see something, you say something.
The continuous record of insecurity incidents in the country and seeming lack of progress has led to the call for the sack of the service chiefs. The heat is also on the president, as the Northern Elders Forum has expressed negative sentiment towards President Muhammadu Buhari, asking him to resign if he cannot quell the insecurity as soon as possible. Subsequently, lawmakers have invited the president to explain the true situation, but this has not calmed the call for the sack of the service chiefs.
Are we saying that it's because of the service chiefs, that because we have not changed the service chiefs, that lives are being lost? Let us be very careful. Let us be very careful there. Because it's the same military tactics. You probably want to change the individuals. I'm not going to sit down and say that, oh, you know, maybe when you change the individuals, I don't know. So for me, if you ask me, what I would suggest right now, what I would recommend is a declaration of a state of emergency in the Northeast, especially the Northeast corridor. We declare a state of emergency because that is where the main issues are. On the Borno corridor, Borno axis. You declare a state of emergency such that, you know, for 24 hours, yes, I know that there's need for people to move here and there, but they can take those who are legitimate citizens there, they can take their supplies to them. So let them declare a state of emergency. We have to deploy technology. We have drones. Drones can be deployed, okay? You know, to keep surveillance on those areas, on those highways, on those farmlands. And then, of course, you can also deploy helicopter. You can also deploy helicopter. And again, there's also the issue of community policing. You know, within the communities, you know, You set up police forces who will live within the community. They would have been, trained and everything. And if anything happens, they get information. And they'll be able to fish out, strangers or bad people within the community.
The incident of November 28 seems to be the climax of similar happenings in recent times. On Monday, the 17th of November, armed men attacked Albasu village in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State, killing 11 people and injuring 4 others. In Nasarawa State, the All Progressives Congress chairman, Mr. Philip Shekwo, was abducted on November 21st from his residence in Lafia, the state capital, and found dead the next day. 4 days later, a bank and a police station in Irele local government area of Ondo State were attacked by armed men numbering about 30. On the same day, a traditional ruler, Israel Adewusi, was murdered by suspected kidnappers in Ondo State. Still on the same November 26th, the wife of the Chief of Staff of Ondo State, Shadi Ali, was kidnapped and later gained her freedom 3 days later.
Naturally, we expect a spike in insecurity or spike in insecurity during a period like this. Every year, it's a periodic spike in insecurity. However, if you look at where we're coming from in terms of, the prolonged and intractable terror and insurgency in the northeast, and the growing banditry in northwest and north central, and see the way it's spreading down south, and we're having regular cases of kidnapping and people being killed. What we have currently is beyond what we used to have, especially considering the fact that the morale within the Nigerian police as we speak right now is a lot low compared to what we used to have. So it's not the best of time for this country as it is. And it is not just about whether we're getting it wrong right now. Things have been wrong for a long time. And all the effort that we're putting on, let me say government is trying to put, have not appeared to have addressed the situation or the issues that we have. So it simply means that it's either we're using the wrong approach, or we have the right approach but the implementation is actually wrong, or we're actually addressing our approach, right supposed to say, towards different sector. At different point in time, you see all this playing out. When we try to, the issue of palliatives, are the right people getting the palliatives? The answer is no. So perhaps we had the right, program in place, but it's not being pushed towards the right people. When people are hungry, they become desperate. They want to go out to do whatever they can to actually feed or take care of their family. In terms of the approach that we have, at times, we try to copy how it is being done somewhere else. But you see, there are certain things that we need to take into consideration, our environmental factors. Some things works abroad may not work here.
These factors may have fueled lack of trust of intentions of the government by the citizenry. Nigerians equate a lack of action in some cases as lack of commitment to put an end to the insecurity situation.
How come the Nigerian intelligence units have not gone into work to start to trace the contact of these 6 men in Abu Dhabi that are in Abu Dhabi jails in UAE? Who are their contacts in Nigeria? Who are their collaborators in Nigeria? What properties do they have in Nigeria? Freeze their bank accounts in Nigeria. Check their bank account, see who pays money in there, who they've been paying money from that bank account. That is following intelligence. But you know what? It's pure silence. Rather, they are even fighting, saying, the court in Abu Dhabi, are you sure these guys are terrorists? Are you sure they are actually sponsoring terrorists? But these guys were arrested in UAE, not this year. In 2019, they were arrested. So this case has been going on in the UAE since 2019. It was only about 3 weeks, 1 month ago, they got their jail. And they've appealed the jail in the lower court, and the Court of Appeal in UAE still stood with the same judgment that these guys are terrorist sponsors. So it's not a small case, but where is intelligence? So UAE have given you free intelligence. What have you done with it? Nothing.
But the Chief of Army Staff has asked Nigerians to be patient, as terrorism may be with the country for a while. And while his statement may have sparked anger, Mr. Adetayo believes that this is a reality for now.
It's something that you need to plan and say, okay, there's going to be maybe operation, whatever you're going to call it. It might be operation that you're going to carry out in the next 2 or 3 years. And then you have 2 to 3 years to plan ahead in terms of recruiting the necessary manpower and training them, acquiring all the equipment. Because we expected that they will have before now tell people, come, don't expect us that we're going to wipe out Boko Haram in the next 6 months. We have like 3 or 4, 5 years plan, and we assure you about what we're doing. Just trust us. But between now and the next 5 years, we'll. But because the message out at the beginning was not like that. It's like giving people hope. So there was this high expectation that, you know, Buratai will wipe them out in 6 months. And that is why people are expecting. And we need to understand there are 2 components to this. There is the insurgency and there is terrorism. Now, what you can wipe out with what I've said before is the insurgency.
The situation has become a constant worry to all Nigerians, bringing up various suggestions on the way forward. Some have called for the engagement of mercenaries, others for recruitment of indigents into the military and paramilitary. Recently, war veterans and retired soldiers have asked to be included in the fight.
There are some people that still have power. During the Biafra War, we have people they call NA, Baba, and they show us how to work. But now, all these 63 NA, they are finished from Nigerian Army. This 79 at least they are finished. There are some who have power like you. They retire. Let them put us inside. Put the Nigerian Legion inside. They will show them how to do.
Another solution may be at the borders, sharing borders with Niger, to the east with Chad and Cameroon, to the south by the Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean, and to the west by Benin. The issue of porous borders is not new in the country. This has led to the closure of the borders since October 2019, but this may not have had the desired impact on movement of illegal persons and weapons into and outside the country.
Basically, first things first. The federal government should take serious the issue of national identity system, whereby we can recognize who is a Nigerian citizen. Right now, many schools of thought believe that we don't have a national identity system. The one we claim to have, I've done my own, but I don't have nothing. All I have was the paper they gave to me since for the past 4 years or thereabout. Nothing more. Many of us are in the same shoe. So we should have a national ID system that we can be able to identify who is who, you know. And number 2, we should be able to get our military to do the first primary core assignment that they're supposed to be doing, which is to secure our national borders. The customs and the immigration are doing that duty, but they are not competent. They don't have the right equipment compared to what the military can do. So the second thing is for our national borders to be secured, because once we secure our national borders, the thieves and smugglers and insurgents and terrorists and armed smugglers, once they stop to abuse those national borders, we can now say we are fighting a war in Borno. We can now know how to drive these terrorists, and they have no hiding place.
This time more than ever, securing Nigeria is a responsibility of first the government, but also the people, for the government, because this is a major part of their promise to the people. But also the cooperation of Nigerians is needed. They need to collaborate with security agencies and speak up against groups which seek to disturb the peace of the country. Talk to us on Twitter and through our email, specialreport@channelstv.com. I'm Ini John Mekwa.